Do you have questions about your insurance claim? Do you feel like you're getting a fair shake? Angelo Di Paola, the coastal connection with eXp Realty, and we're live with Bennett Long, partner in Long and Long attorneys, all located in Mobile, Alabama. And Bennett's going to break down this process. Bennett, over the past 15 years, has specialized as a policyholder attorney representing insureds in property damage claims. Bennett, 15 years you've been doing this. How did you get your start?
First of all, thank you for having us, Angelo.
Man, appreciate it.
I hate that our community is facing this with Sally landing here recently in the past several weeks. It's obviously a very stressful time on everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, and please know that we're here if you have any questions. So to answer your question, how did I get started? I got started in this fresh out of law school because of what happened to my family. We owned Orange Beach Marina, Fishers, Playa, several other businesses, but at the time it was mainly damage to the marina. And that was after Hurricane Ivan in 2004. I got out of law school in 2005, and my father was still dealing with the repercussions of underpayment on an insurance claim. So I was able to learn the ropes from there, understand how the process works, and understand how to meet the burdens of proof in the claims process without litigation, more of a management type scenario. And we were able to have a great outcome ultimately. From there, my practice spread by word of mouth. I handled reevaluation of Ivan and Katrina claims for many, many years. Then moved on in 2011 and basically lived in Tuscaloosa for a year and a half after the horrible tornado of April 27, 2011. From there, came back and obviously was handling claims in this area as well. We had a pretty bad fire at Fishers in 2013, and again, the way that we handle claims, the insurance company's original offer was low. I was able to increase it by nearly 500% within a 6-month time frame. When we settled that claim, we were able to rebuild, remodel Fishers into what it is today. So here we are again with Sally. But here's what people need to understand: an insurance policy is a contract. It is the four corners of that contract which dictate coverage. So it is a legal analysis from day one. And also, you got to remember, while there's competing objectives in the insurance industry, claims paid versus the premium collected, that delta is their profit margin. So an insurance company's function is to make money for its shareholders, for its board, for everyone that it has in its chain. And they're very big, very large corporations. So you're up against a very formal adversary, very formal, that has all the resources in the world, including adjusters on a field level, a desk level, a corporate level. You have attorneys, accountants, a huge, huge network of individuals. One thing that you need to know, under Alabama law, an insurance claim is defined as an adversarial process. That is the law in Alabama. And one thing that comes to mind, or what I call the 3 Ds: deny, delay, defend. And that's what we often see them do. Sometimes they deny, sometimes they delay, and that's really most claims. And sometimes they'll defend, and they'll go to all resources to try to minimize the claim. So think about this as a whole, what the insurance industry has been going through in the past several years. It's honestly in a very chaotic time, very chaotic. You had Harvey that hit August 2017, and Hurricane Michael hit Panama City in October of 18. Then you had Florence. Look what we have now, the horrible California wildfires. Also look, Laura that hit Lake Charles in Louisiana just a month and a half ago. And then here comes Sally. So we're facing unprecedented losses. And the insurance industry is having a hard time managing that. And one thing that you got to realize is that adjuster that shows up at your house or your business, that is the face of the insurance company. And they're there making the reserve, setting the reserve, which is what they think the claim is going to be. From day one, they go in and they set the reserve. Damage to your home, and they reserve is $200,000. Getting past that reserve, once you're able to prove you have more damages, is a formidable task. So, that adjuster, whether they're experienced or not, is the insurance company's eyes and ears. So you're dealing with what I like to call a case of Russian roulette when these adjusters show up. Some of them may have been in the business all their lives. Some of them may have been in the business for a month, and because there's an undersupply of adjusters, a very large undersupply because of all the different losses that we're facing in this country as a whole. So it's, just remember that. So it's all about in the eye of the beholder. An experienced adjuster will know how to adjust better. An inexperienced adjuster, like any industry, is just learning. So that's something very, very, very important to remember. And remember that adjuster, whether it's a direct employee of the insurance company or a third-party adjuster, they have a conflict of interest. They work for the company that insures you, and it's in their best interest to pay the claim, but to pay it in the minimal amount as possible and protect their employer. And when we're talking about claims, the industry accepted software to write claims is a software called Xactimate. It was created by the insurance industry, and the thing that people need to know is extremely, extremely subjective. The experience of that adjuster is going to directly dictate how much your damage is. Directly dictate. If they're experienced, they know how to use the software. If they're inexperienced, they're just hitting the high points of the software. In the same scope of damage, say a tree fell through your roof, you have a hole in your ceiling. There's approximately 15 to 20 steps that can be clicked in Xactimate to repair that damage. We often find that the insurance companies are using half of those steps. We come in and we use all the steps. And so on the same scope of damage, our estimates are sometimes 50, 60, 70% higher, and a lot of times 100, 200, 300, 400, 500% higher. It's a lot of subjectivity. So as part of the claims process, that's what we do. We bring in our own experts. We have our own adjusters that have been working with us for over 15 years. They're the best in the industry. And as the quarterback of the claim, an attorney is handling and managing the claim. A big loss is a big job, or any loss is a big job. You need someone that does this for a living to take the emotion out of it and to handle it. And look, I know we're attorneys, and first thing a lot of people will think is, oh, this is an attorney, it's an adversarial process. That's not the case. This is an amicable process as long as it needs to be, as long as the insurance companies, act fairly and treat our clients with the respect and settling their case that they do. We get these claims settled quickly overall and avoid litigation at all times. So just to summarize, I know you have some questions, but when you hire a policyholder attorney, we level the playing field. It's a David versus Goliath scenario, and the insured is Goliath. The insurance companies do this for a living, day in, day out. Bringing us in levels the playing field. You have a group that knows what the insurance companies do, and they know how to meet the burdens of proof and improve your claim as a whole. And when we're involved, we get a different level of respect, so to speak, from the insurance company. They know that they're dealing with someone that is a formidable opponent, so to speak. Not necessarily opponent, because it's not adversarial most of the times, but they know they're dealing with a firm that has handled 10,000 claims since 2005. So that's a brief summary. Angelo, again, appreciate the opportunity. I'd love to answer any questions you have.
Well, look, just as somebody that lives down here and has property down here, when should somebody like me contact you, like in the very beginning, or do I wait until I get that uneasy feeling that I'm not getting a good deal? And when should I, like my concern is like, hey, I've got damage. Should I go ahead and bring in a contractor and start mitigating some of that damage? What's that process look like?
Very good question. And yes, under your policy, you have a duty to mitigate your damages. And if you fail to mitigate your damages, they can deny the claim for that reason, or deny portions of it. For example, if there's a rain that came after Sally and caused a lot more damage to your house, it's somewhat subjective, and oftentimes the insurance company doesn't go to that, but it is something you need to keep in the back of your mind. Here's what we've learned over time. And the earlier you contact a professional that does this for a living, the better result you're going to have long term. If you wait until 3-4 months down the road, once you realize you have a major problem, you have likely, as someone that's inexperienced in the field, potentially walked yourself down exclusions, given the insurance company things that they don't need or not entitled to, and then we have to try to come undo that. And oftentimes it's hard to undo. Regarding contractors obviously serve a very vital role in this industry. And we work with contractors of our clients every day, all day, and they're part of our team. However, one thing that people need to realize is that when a mass disaster like this hits, the insurance companies will use contractors to their advantage. What I mean by that is, instead of writing that estimate in Xactimate like they should be doing, they'll say, hey, just go out and get a bid from your contractor. That's the worst thing you can do. You need to have your own Xactimate estimate prepared by an expert that is advocating your interest, and you need to compare it to the insurance company's Xactimate estimate. If you give them the contractor's estimate, it gives them a level to negotiate down from, and that's exactly what they'll do. They say, oh, that's not right. That's too many units or too high of a dollar. He should be able to do it for this amount. And what it ultimately does is it creates a conflict between you and your contractor. If your contractor later discovers more damage that was hidden between the walls and he tries to supplement the claim, we often see insurance companies, oh, well, that's between you and your contractor. That's not our fault. We accepted the amount that they said earlier. You go deal with it. So just be mindful of that.
How do you get paid? Like, I mean, there's great financial loss right now. And like, I can tell you for me, we've lost lots of revenue just since the storm. How do y'all get paid? Like,
so we work on a contingency fee, and it's a small percentage of the claim as a whole. The sooner we get involved, the smaller the contingency fee is. And our fees, you know, we as we mentioned, we have outside adjusters that are not employees of our firm. They are independent contractors, but they're the same group that we've worked with for the last 15 years in nearly 10,000 claims, as I mentioned. So our fees are inclusive of our expert fees. So we pay them as they bill us, and then we work on a small percent of the whole.
All right, what am I missing? Like, I mean, you did a great job explaining everything. I know I've seen you on here in Orange Beach multiple times. You have boots on the ground. So are you doing homeowners, businesses? Like,
yes, good question. We're doing, homeowners. We're doing representing many condo owner associations, large businesses. And another thing to remember, in addition to your property damage claim, a lot of businesses are going to have a business interruption or loss of income claim. And that's the same exact subjective scenario that I talked about. The insurance companies are going to hire their own accountants that are going to diminish the value of your claim. Alternatively, we have our own accountants that we've worked with for many, many years, starting with Katrina and Ivan, that know how to combat the subjectivity in an accountant's report trying to downplay your loss of income. It's not something, you think loss of income, oh, well, I lost $200,000 in sales in the past 6 weeks. That's not how it worked. It's not a gross receipts type analysis. It's a net income. And then after all that net income, they're taking out all the expenses that you saved by not being open. And it gets very subjective. And they're looking at prior year's history. They're not taking into account, that we were set up for there in Orange Beach and Gulf Shores and along the Gulf Coast, a banner year this fall. We all know that based on what's been going on with COVID, the lack of people being able to go to college football games and enjoy it as people normally do. The beach was set up for a great time, a great successful off season. Now we got damage down there, so it's going to be a little different. So there are going to be a lot of loss of income claims.
All right, one final question. I mean, you guys are located in Mobile, Alabama, but I heard you mention storms that hit Louisiana, Texas, Florida. You can handle claims in Florida, because I know there's
absolutely. We're licensed in every state in the Southeast, from Texas to South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, and California. We have handled claims since 2005. Every major catastrophic event to hit the Southeast and Eastern Seaboard, our attorneys have been in the lead. We have an office in Houston. We have an office in Orange Beach. We have an office in Mobile. And this is a very niche practice area that we're involved in, and a lot of our practice is devoted to it. We have the attorneys and staff that do nothing but these claims all day, every day. And we have it down to a process where if the process is handled properly and the claim is managed properly, ultimately the result will be very well. And it turns a loss into an opportunity ultimately.
All right. And then let's end with this. On the screen, you have disasterinsuranceClaims.com. I assume that's your website and your phone number. If somebody calls or goes to that website, what do they need to know? What do they do?
You can call the number, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Also, if you go to the website, it tells a little bit more about us, and there'll be an auto attendant that pops up that will ask for your name and number and email, and we'll get back with you. And look, this is personal to me. I've been through it. I know how you all feel out there. We're going through another major loss right now at the marina, multi-million dollars to the marina and fishers. And, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a hard time, but we got to look at the bright side of things. This is an opportunity for things to get better, us to come back and rebuild and make our piece of paradise even more attractive to out-of-town investors, to residents, vacationers. We live in a special area of the world, and I want to thank you all for listening to us today. I'm here to answer any questions, and I wish you all the best.
Bennett, thanks for coming on. Looking forward to rebuilding. Looking forward to coming back better than ever. Hope we brought tons of value to anybody that sees this. And if you have any questions, reach out to Bennett. He's a true professional. He's been doing this for a long time and has had a ton of successful outcomes. We'll catch y'all later. Thank you, Bennett.
Thank you all.